Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, family, and friends. Welcome to the White Coat Ceremony for the class of 2027. My name is Adrian Llewellyn. I'm the Associate Dean and Program Director for the Physician Assistant Program. Just a couple of housekeeping announcements before we start the procession. A professional photographer will be taking pictures of each student as they don their white coats, so please refrain from coming forward to take pictures. We welcome applause for the students, but please do not use whistles, air horns, and other noisemakers. When the ceremony has concluded, please remain in your seats until the recessional is complete. All students will then return to the Great Hall for a group photo. Afterwards, we look forward to a little festive reception. And thank you, and again, welcome. Thank you all, thank you all. And please be seated. I am honored at this time to introduce our Dean of the CUNY Medical School, Dr. Carmen Renee Green. She will then lead our signature ceremonial opening. Dean Green was appointed October 2021 to lead the CUNY School of Medicine into a new era, and that she is doing an amazing job. In just 3 action-packed years, she has greatly expanded recruitment pathways to connect with students who are historically underrepresented in medical education and strengthened academic programming and support services to ensure their success as undergraduates and medical students. Dean Green also tirelessly advocates for our students externally, meeting with representatives at all levels of government, across academic medicine, the city hospital system, and nonprofit sector. She joined CUNY Medicine as a renowned scholar in disparities in pain management and healthcare, and owing to her visionary leadership at CUNY Medicine, was recently named one of the top 100 higher education leaders by city and state. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dean Green.
Now we can begin. Thank you, Associate Dean Llewellyn, for the kind introduction. And good morning, good people. I'm pleased to welcome you to our home, the home of the healers, leaders, and scholars. It is my honor to preside over today's physician assistant commencement ceremony, white coat ceremony for the class of 2027. I would like to begin today's ceremony with the way that we at CUNY School of Medicine traditionally begin with a moment of silence for individual concerns, prayers, reflections. These are tumultuous times, as many of you know. It is not lost on us, but we are a community of healers, leaders, and scholars. So it's my hope that you will join me in a moment of prayer for peace in our times. Thank you. We also always recognize the land that we are on with our signature land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that we are within a place of gathering and exchange, shaped by water and stewarded by ongoing generations of indigenous peoples. We acknowledge the land upon which we gather as part of the traditional territory and the unceded ancestral lands of the Lenape people. The Lenape people lived in harmony with one another upon this territory for thousands and thousands of years. During the colonial era and early federal period, many were removed west and north. But some also remain among the continuing historical tribal communities of the region. The Nanticoke Lenape Tribal Nation, the Ramapo Lenape Nation, the Powhatan Lenape Nation, the Nanticoke of Missboro, Delaware, and the Lenape of Cheswold, Delaware. They and many other tribes called this home for more than 10,000 years. And they sustained this land. And we shall sustain this land so that we can enjoy her gifts yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We recognize both our responsibilities to care for this land for the many generations to come. Thank you. I'm the Dean of the City University of New York School of Medicine, New York City's medical school, which proudly hosts and produces the physician assistants and doctors that New York needs and New Yorkers want to see. Those that represent the racial, ethnic, cultural, and linguistic makeup and diversity of this city. Indeed, we are one of the most diverse and most inclusive medical schools in the country. We and our ancestors come from many different lands, and we are immigrants and transplants. As you will see in a moment, in this class alone, students speak more than a dozen different languages, in addition to English. In that spirit, we are proud to have some of our students from this class come forward to welcome us to this place in their languages native to their ancestors.
Welcome, Aquaba Tree.
Welcome, 大家欢迎 Mandarin Chinese.
Welcome, Ekabo, Yoruba.
Welcome. Okoshi kudasaimashite. Arigatou gozaimasu. Japanese.
Bienvenue. Welcome in French.
Welcome, Al-Nimbara, Mandinka.
Bienvenidos a todos. Welcome in Spanish.
Welcome, Sastrikal Jiayanu, Punjabi.
Welcome, Funying Daiga, Cantonese.
Welcome, Onjarama, Impular.
Welcome, Dulo Munai in Quran.
Welcome, Ahlan wa Sahlan, Arabic language.
Welcome, Khushamdeed in Urdu.
Thank you, Dean Green and students. And now, please everyone stand for our national anthem. Thank you. Please be seated.
Well, this beautiful rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner, our national anthem, the song that brings us all together, was sung by the CCNY, the City College of New York choir. On behalf of the faculty and staff of the City University of New York School of Medicine, I welcome you. I welcome everyone. I am honored to preside over today's white coat ceremony for the physician assistant class of 2027. As they begin to join this legendary physician assistant program. I'm exceedingly proud of those students who come from all walks of life to come into the profession of healing. Nearly 3/4 of the students today, 24 out of 35 are first-generation students. They are the first in their family to go to college, let alone earn a graduate degree. And together, you represent the great diversity, talent, inclusivity, and dedication to community that is the hallmark of the CUNY School of Medicine. You've traveled from every corner of New York City, Brooklyn, the Bronx, Queens, Staten Island. Every once in a while I get the moment that I realize I'm not a native New Yorker because I can't name all 5 boroughs quickly. And so Queens and Staten Island, as well as Manhattan and Harlem, and far beyond this country's borders and this state's borders. They come to us to study over the next 20 months or so to become a physician assistant. Today, we welcome you and mark the transition of your preparation thus far as you begin to start entering the clinical spaces. The White Coat Ceremony formally recognizes you as the next generation of the CUNY School of Medicine, healers, leaders, and scholars. And this ceremony seeks to instill in our students a dedication to compassionate, empathic, collaborative, and evidence-based excellent care that our communities deserve. Is a calling that places the interests, values, and dignity of all people at the core of our medical education and practice. Together, we will nurture the human spirit and care for the physical and emotional embodiment of that spirit. All I have to do is to look at your vibrant and beautiful faces, whether I'm on my way to my office or at this moment now. I know the world can and will become a better place, and healthcare will become better and safer because of you. Gandhi spoke of being the change you wish to see, and you are indeed changing the face of medicine and changing how it will be delivered. But you know, as I do, that this day would not have happened without support and encouragement from your incredible family, friends, and loved ones. So students, I ask you to stand and join me in thanking those amazing people who have supported you on this journey thus far. Please be seated. I extend a warm welcome to our keynote speaker, Dr. Phyllis Meadows, who's a senior fellow of Detroit Public Program at the Kresge Foundation. But she's so much more, which you'll hear as we continue the ceremony. We look forward to hearing her words of wisdom about why you're needed and the need for improvements in public health. We also welcome our alums who are returning home. We are honored also to have 2 distinguished alumni on the platform today. We are blessed to have Miss Annie Brown She is an alumna of our first 1973 graduating class. This is an historic woman you're looking at right here. And I will also say that she probably, somebody else is going to have to provide me with some data that says otherwise, that she's probably the first Black woman to be a physician assistant anywhere in the country. She's a pioneer. We are also honored to welcome home Mr. Stephen Robinson. Where is he? Right there. Compared to Miss Annie Brown, he's a rookie. He graduated in 1981. You will hear more about him soon. I also thank the platform party behind me, some of our incredible faculty members, including leaders in the physician assistant program. We thank you all for being here as well as your support. Now, I'd like to just turn to address our students for just a moment, our future physician assistants. I've told you on many occasions that our PA program is one of the oldest in the country, the first being at Duke, but we're probably one of the first public PA programs in the country. I hope that you'll also take some time to hear from Miss Annie Brown, if you have the opportunity, about how the genesis of this program. I think she's proud of where we've come. The program was founded in 1973 at Harlem Hospital. Our iconic program has trained over 1,000 students who are now currently physician's assistants. They frequently came from underserved communities that are historically underrepresented in medicine. They work in hospitals and physician practices and outpatient clinics in these same communities. We are thrilled to have you here as the next generation and as the future embodiment of the legacy of this particular program. As a CUNY School of Medicine, you will be rigorously trained in the science and practice of the profession. Our program is currently ranked number 3 in New York State, according to U.S. News and World Reports, and is one of the most competitive PA programs in the country, accepting about 2.3% of applicants. This is also one of the most inclusive PA programs in the country, a school where representation continues to matter. Here at the school, you will receive much-needed awareness of the many significant social, educational, and health inequities that undermine our patients' health and well-being. You will learn about health disparities and healthcare disparities and how they steal, and how people of color, people who are first-generation immigrants, that it steals, it's a thief in the night. This is not something that is taught in every single medical school in the country. This is the future. You will see firsthand that a person's life expectancy for someone who's living in East Harlem decreases by 10 years simply based upon their zip code, 2 subway stops. That simply traveling a matter of blocks makes you more likely to have subpar health care, and it increases the likelihood that you will have a shorter life, that your babies will be born before their time, and that a woman may die in the most natural thing in the world, giving birth. You're going to take this incredible knowledge, passion, and commitment to not only address, but also solve health disparities. And at CUNY School of Medicine, we believe that we can eliminate health inequities in our time. As a CUNY Medicine physician assistant, you will also be role models. You will show generations of children from underserved communities who, like yourself, may be underrepresented in medicine, or just a military kid like myself, that PAs can do anything and They should look like you, and they are possible, that anything is possible for them. That even though they may be the first generation in their family to attend college or graduate school, because of you, children everywhere will aspire to be a physician assistant, just like you, if you do this right. And perhaps, maybe they get lucky enough to attend the CUNY School of Medicine. I learned throughout my career in academia and that most people in the academy don't look like me. They don't look like you. They don't come from the backgrounds that we do. I've also learned that there are too few PAs that look like you. Actually, it was hard for me to even think of someone during my clinical practice that was a PA that was a person of color. Are you following me? However, there's 158 medical schools in this country. And I'm betting on us. And I'm betting on you to break the glass ceilings, to overcome the barriers that have kept too many people who were talented out. In this program, you will learn about health disparities, but more important, you'll learn about educational disparities, and you will learn to hear a story and to treat people's stories with compassion and respect. I end here with the fact that in many ways you're changing the face of medicine. And now, as we've become an independent medical school, you are one of the building blocks of what will become the school that will change the skyline of academic medicine. So I'm going to close with the fact that I thank you for being the why. Every morning when I come past your classroom and I see you eating or studying, you're our why. But I also want you to recognize a lot is expected of you. Our patients, those people sitting behind you, the ancestors, they deserve the very best that you can give them. Thank you. I ask Mr. Llewellyn to come up now, you're there, to give the Miss Annie Brown Legacy Award.
As you have heard from Dean Green, Annie Brown is one of the first black female PAs in our history. We were honored to actually name the Annie Brown Legacy Award after her because of her years of dedication and commitment to the profession. Before I introduce the next awardee, or the awardee for the Annie Brown Legacy Award, I'd like to tell you a little bit about him. Mr. Stephen A. Robinson, a graduate of the class of 1981, has a most remarkable 40-year career history at Montefiore Medical Center, where he has held numerous roles across multiple departments, including neurosurgery, neuroradiology, the burn center, plastic surgery, and medicine. He has also made significant contributions as an educator and mentor, guiding countless PA students and professionals while serving as an instructor and a preceptor. He also serves the Harlem community as president of the Bethany Housing Development Fund Corporation and other organizations that are devoted to improving senior and affordable housing. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Stephen A. Robinson and give him a warm round of applause for receiving the Miss Annie Brown Legacy Award. Congratulations.
You're the perfect size.
Say something.
Of course, giving honor to God, who's the head of my life, to Dr. Green and Brother Adrian Ayala. All of those that are here for which honor is due. Hello. I can't adequately express how I'm overwhelmed by this honor bestowed upon me by CUNY's CCNY Physician Assistant Program, better known as Harlem PA Program. I am sure that none of you know just how special this award is to me. I thought not even the person for whom the award is named after, but she promptly reminded me today that she remembered me from the time I first volunteered in the Harlem emergency room, sitting behind the nurses' station doing clerical work. When I was starting college and volunteering in the emergency department at Harlem Hospital, I noticed that there was a Black female doctor that was just the best. She was caring and attentive, meticulous in her management of her patients. I just felt that she was the best doctor in the emergency room. There was just one thing that bothered me. Everyone was addressing her as Ms. Brown and not Dr. Brown. I just kept hearing this, and I was initially just frustrated. And over the weeks, I was becoming very angry. And eventually, I was mad. I couldn't hold my peace any longer. How could they disrespect the best doctor in the house? So the militant me came to the surface, and I spoke out. Why are you disrespecting Dr. Brown like that? That was my first introduction to what a physician assistant is. The best doctor in the house. All these years later, for some to think enough of me to feel that I have somehow stumbled into the footsteps of someone and to feel that I could measure up to the living legend. I met her at the beginning of my career, and now at the end that I'm retiring, still following in your footsteps. I am thankful for you in some small way for feeling that I have in some small way measured up to attempting to fill the shoes and travel in the footsteps of the best doctor in the house. PA Annie Brown. God bless you and keep you under his shadow of his wings, because you too, young people, although your title will be PA, you can be the best doctor in the house. God bless you.
You know, I continue to be amazed. Ms. Annie Brown, I use this phrase often with my colleagues about how try to be as kind as you are competent. And Mr. Robinson, you just did that. So maybe you are the best doctor in the house. I'm betting on Miss Annie Brown. So thank you for all that you've done, Mr. Robinson, all that you've done. We too have a lot to learn from you. So, Dr. Zaka? Yeah. And yeah, over there, up there. His colleagues ran off without him, and make certain we get this right. So I am now pleased to introduce a most esteemed guest and our keynote speaker, Dr. Phyllis Meadows. Dr. Meadows is a visionary leader whose career has spanned over 30 years in nursing, public health, academia, and philanthropy. As a senior fellow with the Kresge Foundation's Detroit program, Dr. Meadows has been instrumental in advancing innovative strategies that address health equity and improve community well-being, all while driving impactful change in public health and community development. She joined the Kresge Foundation in 2009. She's advised the Detroit and health teams on the development of its overall strategic direction and provided leadership in designing and implementing grant-making initiatives to improve the health and well-being of those communities. Dr. Meadows has also coached many teams and created linkages to national organizations and is considered one of the experts in the field as it relates to health. In addition, she regularly provides this type of expertise to many community and national organizations. Phyllis has led the Foundation's Emerging Leaders in Public Health program, which advises and supports the development of cross-team programming efforts with the Detroit Environment and Human Services programs. As a health professional, she recognizes the importance of public health and population health, and has made a major commitment to investing in this sector and help shape the direction of philanthropic efforts for health and public health. She's also, which is where I finally got to meet her, is the former Associate Dean for Practice at the University of Michigan School of Public Health. And she's a clinical professor in health management and policy, where she designed and implemented community-based health strategies, including training programs for students called the FLIP program, Future Leaders in Public Health. She designed and implemented these community-based health strategies, evaluation, research, and courses on leadership, policy. Why? Oh, she was also the Deputy Director and the Director of Public Health Officer for the city of Detroit. In addition to serving in several roles at Wayne State and Oakland University's School of Nursing, her professional leadership roles also include serving as a Kellogg International Leadership Program. At that program, she focused on youth in higher education and communities, both nationally and internationally. Doctor, I could say more and more about my colleague and friend, but what I think that is most important about her is how her consistent commitment to marginalized and vulnerable populations. And she puts her money where her mouth is. In our family, we talk about integrity, and integrity always matters. We talk about 3 things you own: your name, your word, your story. And I think Phyllis embodies that. And so I was thrilled that she accepted our invitation to address this particular class and talk about our role and the importance in public health and beyond. Dr. Meadows, will you please come to this podium? Thank you.
Well, thank you for the introduction, and I can't begin to tell you how excited I am to be here and to be a part of your white coat ceremony. This is actually my first one where I've been this up close and personal, like many of you, so this is an experience I'm sure I'll not forget. I want to say how excited I am to be among the first to welcome you into the network of professionals that are going to breathe life into the public health system as we know it. So the excitement that you hear in my voice is just that I'm excited for what you are going to do. I also need to say for the record how grateful I am to play a small part in launching your careers. I want you to know that being here with you today has deep meaning for me personally as a first-generation college student working in health and as a professional who often ponders what can we do better to improve our healthcare system. This moment would not be possible without your commitment and the support and guidance of your families and significant others. Of course, I have to acknowledge the skills, the talents, and gifts of this distinguished faculty, administrators, and staff of the City University of New York's Medical School, whose dedication to teaching and developing the next generation of professionals should not go without mention. So when you go about the business of celebrating today and putting your hands together in applause at any moment, remember that it is for you, it's for yours, and those who enabled this vision to become a reality and help you achieve this important moment in time. When Dr. Green, my friend and colleague who I love dearly, asked me to speak to you today, I asked what could I offer you from my perspective that might be of value as you begin your careers within this massive health arena. So I took into account her suggestions, which are always full of wisdom, and I thought it would be important to highlight to you the significance of your entry into practice and your relevance to public health and the health of those who you will serve. I also want to use a little bit of this time to share a few reflective considerations for you as you progress along your journey as professionals within the public health system. And when I say the public health system, I'm talking about the system comprised of health professionals, those who are in the health sector, those who are outside of it, artists, practitioners, and scientists who are positioned to positively influence the health of our people. I realize there's so much to tell you. This was a very difficult talk to put together, but I promise you it won't be a long, drawn-out diatribe on public health. I'm a realist, and I know most of what I say in these few minutes you won't remember. But I do want to leave you with a spirit of optimism and clarity about your purpose and the significance of your role, and how important your contributions will be in assuring the health of the public, and to offer you a few thoughts also as you ponder your transition into various health settings. I want to highlight a few issues that I think are going to be paramount in the years ahead, and things that you might stumble across as you move through your dynamic journey. I'm certain by now, if not before you conclude today, you'll understand the significance of this white coat ceremony and what it symbolizes in terms of expectations and responsibilities associated with entering into the profession of clinical practice. The role you're about to embark upon is of great significance to you and those of us who are steeped in public health practice. The health outcomes we hope to achieve for everyone, with a special emphasis on populations who have experienced persistent threats to health and well-being in our society, requires that we engage across health settings, across sectors, and embrace the unique skills and abilities of multidisciplinary health professionals and non-traditional providers. From a public health perspective, we embrace your entry into the profession, and we embrace it as a broad statement and an opportunity for us to better improve our approaches to health care. We see it as a solution to many issues impacting access to care, continuity of care, and escalating costs of health care services. You may already know that the U.S. spends an estimated $4.9 trillion in health care, yet we have no bragging rights on our standing in health outcomes when compared to other high-income countries. With the current trajectory of health expenditures, it's estimated that in the next decade, we'll reach $16 trillion in expenditures in healthcare costs. The addition of physician's assistants, you in the practice, have been a vital solution to the healthcare financing crisis. Some estimate that you save institutions somewhere between 30 to 40% of your costs. But in addition to savings, I believe you bring much more to the table that will affect the financing of health care, not only for the health institutions, but the cost and burden of care for the individuals you're going to serve. Here are important things I want you to remember. The continuity of care and better health care maintenance reduces costs. Quality care reduces costs. Prevention of diseases reduces costs. And having the wisdom to recognize that health is not simply a biological phenomenon, that there are social, environmental, and political aspects to health. All of these factor in our ability to produce better outcomes, and all of them make a difference in what healthcare costs and the burden of disease. I believe you have the ability to make a difference on so many levels, keeping in mind that your first priority should always be to reduce the burden of disease on those you will serve. If by chance you've explored the contextual and historical origins and rationale for the development of the physician assistant practice, you will note a clear and perfect alignment with the goals of public health. At the heart of your work will be an important aim of improving health outcomes for individuals, people, especially those who are most vulnerable, and those lacking access to quality care and treatment. The history and legacy of advanced practice providers is one born out of the need to address the healthcare shortages for marginalized and diverse populations. This is a goal of public health also. And frequently, your presence is designed to respond to the gaps in access to care in medically shortage areas. Your practice in partnership with physicians, nurses, social work, clergy, and entities outside of the health arena will reinforce the public health sector's efforts to better address the persistent and unmet physical and emotional needs of people and populations and communities. We're now beginning to understand that more in our society is not a sufficient pathway to health. Today, we have more advanced technology, more access to information, more goods and services. Overconsumption in all areas of our daily lives is impacting our mental health, our physical health, the health of our relationships to one another, and the health of the environment. More is not better. Positioning yourselves to be the best at what you do is better. Depending where you land, you undoubtedly will be critical to addressing the healthcare shortage of providers. This is important, but I would argue that you will offer much more than that. From a public health perspective, you will not only add to the workforce, but you have the potential to build a better health system and transform healthcare as it presently exists. As you look at the needs of people and communities today, there's tremendous opportunity for health professionals to build on the advances that we see, to build a new practice muscle by capitalizing on the enhanced high-speed and ubiquitous connection to people. There are greater venues for service now, an opportunity to position yourself in every encounter, to listen more thoughtfully, to gain insights about what you're experiencing, and to see more clearly the varying contexts of disease and opportunities for prevention. You have the opportunity to go beyond excellence in diagnosis and treatment, to actively create an ethical culture built on medical approaches that embody humanism, respect, equity, and inclusion. You've been given this foundation, as these are elements or major tenets of the mission of this medical school, and are critical to carry forward as you tackle challenges impacting the public's health. Those of us working in public health, we need your help. We know that many issues and disparities in health that we tackle every day, while they may be a factor of biology or genes, are further exacerbated by adverse social, economic, and environmental conditions, and that these factors impact some groups in society more than others. Healthcare today is more than just achieving the health of individuals. It includes a focus on the health of vulnerable populations. And your efforts as individuals, with whatever setting, will be critical to addressing these issues. I would be remiss if I didn't spend a moment to mention the growing concerns about diversity, equity, and inclusion, and efforts in many spaces of society to move away from this framework. At least that's becoming a prevailing narrative. This topic is not my charge today, so I won't spend time on it, but I believe what it does is remind us that this is a time we all need to come to terms with what is our own sense of humanity, who we choose to see or not see, serve to the best of our ability or not, whether we decide to bring our A game, delivering care with excellence for all, regardless of race, gender, ethnicity, or sexual orientation, or stand in the bowels of mediocrity, that's our C game, is a matter of individual choice, a representation of your personal values, and it's an ethical decision. As healthcare providers, we swear an oath, and honoring that oath forces us to look beyond what we see, to avoid judgment, bias, unconfirmed assumptions about one another, and to look deeply to understand and serve the whole person to the best of our ability, to be respectful, to be kind, caring, and compassionate, accepting each encounter that you experience and recognizing that all diseases are not equal. And the greatest failure in practice is to avoid that truth. There's a quote from one of the early founders of medicine, Hippocrates, which you may have heard of, that says, wherever the art of medicine is loved, there's also a love of humanity. This is to be a reminder that compassion is indistinguishable from the practice of medicine. They are intertwined. If you love your work, you must love the people. As you come to love your work, come to love the people that you'll serve. You don't need a framework. You don't need DEI or concepts about what diversity, equity, and inclusion are. You will be in that exam room, and you have to make a statement based on your values, what conditions, how you will approach every human condition. As healthcare unfolds in the next decade, you'll not be entering exam rooms alone, and will be accompanied by a relatively new player, artificial intelligence. There's a book out called The AI Revolution in Medicine. If you haven't read it, it's an easy read, but it's worth reading. It identifies artificial intelligence as a tool that he believes will change the way people work, learn, and communicate. I believe it's going to change how we all work. AI's utility in diagnosing complex conditions and offering solid recommendations, and even offering some semblances of empathy and compassion, are currently constantly being refined. However, the authors remind us that in the midst of AI's ability to augment our practice, it is far from perfect. You, as the practitioner, must continue to infuse the human element. Basically, AI is not coming, it is here. And it's been here for a while. And as it makes its way deeper into the public health system, I urge you not to default to its current one-dimensionality. AI has yet to grasp the tones you will hear, the utterances that are spoken to you in stress, the emotional intelligence, the self-awareness and sensing nuances, along with the technical skills that the human touch will bring. Personally, I've been a recipient of care provided by physician's assistants in partnership with practice with several of my primary medical providers. I found each professional to be extremely knowledgeable and skilled. I was comfortable with their approach and instruction, but what I valued most was the level of inquiry and communication. And in my mind, I gave high marks to those physician's assistants who took the time to understand me and how my issue was impacting. My call is for more encounters like this. I appreciated those who wanted to know my questions, my concerns, and look beyond my health issue to understand me, not only in the exam room, but my life outside of that room. And I urge you to make it a priority in your practice to take time to listen to your patients and understand their realities. I would be remiss if I didn't share a few words of advice. You know, I am a preacher's daughter, so I have a lot to always say. But I just want to give you a few bullets to end by. First, pay attention to your environment and stay current with what is happening in society that might ultimately impact health. Know that some of the issues that will challenge you and shape your scope of practice includes the impacts resulting from climate change and extreme weather and other environmental conditions such as flooding, wildfires, and other national desires. The surge of vector-borne illnesses, along with new and emerging infectious diseases, will require you to continuously adapt in the processes you use to deliver care. You will need to be flexible and adaptable. As we move further to destigmatize mental health, we will see a need for greater understanding of how we treat the coexistence of mental and physical ailments in our patients. They are not to be siloed if we are to deliver effective care. The increasing acts of violence, both personal and impersonal, across the age continuum, and the impacts of trauma on health will force us to rethink our roles in prevention and protection for our clients. Reflection is important. We'll need to ask ourselves critical questions always. Take time to ponder. What can I do to assure the ethical and unbiased treatment of the now growing aging population? How do I mitigate the erosion of trust in healthcare professionals and the science that guides us? Is there a role I can play to allay the brewing resentments toward health? What can I do to minimize waste and protect the environment? There's so much to be attentive to, but those are the ones that I felt important to share with you today. These are tough issues and hard questions, but staying alert to the issue and gaining experience, which you'll do over the years ahead, will help you assert your role to the fullest. It's important, finally, for you to believe, and deeply believe this, that you have so much to offer, not only to the institutional settings where you work, but outside the walls of defined health institutions. There's much work that needs to be done. Be a part of shaping the policies that allow you to maximize your skill and facilitate optimal patient-centered care. Stay involved with your school, contribute to your school, your communities, and your professional association. And be brave enough to partner with professionals outside of medicine. There's a lot of perspectives that will help you in your work. If you don't remember anything today, I've said, remember this: you're more important than just being a healthcare provider. You are healthcare professionals who will be working within and potentially shaping the public health system today and into the future. You'll improve access to care. Your presence will mend gaps and fractures in the system. You'll be joining a rapidly growing cadre of physicians' assistants in this country and will become a part of one of the fastest growing health occupations in America. There are emerging policies, technology. There are emerging policies that are shifting in support of your practice. Right now, many states are looking at physician assistant compacts, which will allow you to streamline licensure and practice across multiple states. Some states are allowing for expansion of the scope of practice, find ways to be part of those conversations, or at least stay aware of what the conversations are saying. In my own state of Michigan, they're looking to change the title from physician assistant to a physician associate as an attempt to add more credibility. I hope they're talking to a physician's assistant to understand if this is meaningful. Efforts are underway to expand the practice of PAs in behavioral health, where there's considerable shortages of providers. Stay on top of the policies affecting your processes, your practice, but also in the people you hope to serve. Finally, be a continuous learner. Classes have come to an end, but learning doesn't. The best education is waiting for you out there in the places and spaces where you'll work. This is how you become more, but also better. Be a part of the reform. Lend your voice wherever there's an opportunity. Stay ahead of being current. Being able to serve others is a gift. Finally, in the immortal words of the artist Kendrick Lamar, we all bleed the same, so let's heal together. Again, I want to thank you for allowing me to be a part of your day and to celebrate with you, your family, and your supporters for your achievement in this important accomplishment. Congratulations again, and God bless you all.
Thanks for inspiring us. Kendrick Lamar, really? Clearly, some people need to get out more. Thanks for giving not just our students, but us a call to action. You know, the classroom, that learning is continuous, putting the person in the center of care, being engaged, social activism. Thank you. You thought you sat down, but you know, you've had this lasting contribution to national and international health equity efforts. You've been a champion, and we saw it here, why you're a champion, the genesis of that. You continue to inspire transformative change. We at the CUNY School of Medicine have had the honor of having H. Jack Geiger here, who has the winner of 2 Nobel Prizes here. And so the highest award that the CUNY School of Medicine actually gives is one that focuses on social mission that's inspired by Jack Geiger's work. So in recognition of your longstanding commitment to advancing gender equity, women in medicine, public health, and public policy, we would like to award to you today the Dean's Social Mission Award. We'll have that young man, and one of my young students, carry that out for you, okay? After he helps Ms. Annie Brown down the steps. Okay, we're now ready to present the class of 2027 to receive their first white coats as physician assistants. Students, a bit of a background about this auspicious moment, which is that the white coat represents a rite of passage to your continuing journey as student future physician assistants in the clinical spaces. Recognize what our colleague just told us about your learning never ends, and so your learning will continue. The Arnold P. Gold Foundation established the white coat tradition in 1993 to help highlight the importance of humanism in healthcare. For 30 years now, white coat ceremonies have been held at medical schools throughout the country, and we are thrilled to extend this rite of passage to you. Students will present themselves to the CUNY School of Medicine faculty, alumni, and distinguished medical professionals who are our guests for assistance with the cloaking. Gloria Mabry, Dr. Gloria Mabry, the clinical coordinator and distinguished medical lecturer for the PA program, as well as accompanied by Ms. Tanya Torres, the clinical coordinator for the PA program, will come to the podium to call the names of the graduates as they present for cloaking. After receiving their white coats and presenting themselves to me, well, not so importantly to me, but to Ms. Annie Brown and Mr. Robinson, they will go down and sign the honor code after receiving the white coat. Dr. Green, are the PA candidates ready to be presented to the faculty for the cloaking?
Beatrice Aduse.
Anisa Amadali. Akiniyi Oluwatosi. Ramses Baez.
Maria Berrigan. Zoe Bautista. Nakwana Blakey. Shakira Campbell.
Diego Castro Cumana. Rocky Chiang. Tony Clumson Iklu. Fatumata Dabo. Diana Flores Cruz.
Diani Gomez Flores. Jasneet Carr. Paul Leung.
Devin Motier. Shayla Moya. Corey Nylon. Taram Ojuka.
Ngozi Okiki. Khalid Omir. Frida Omarunji Idui. Cassandra Oriana.
Samantha Placide. Lubna Rizvi. Sharon Rodriguez. Haydel Saleh. Menkarn Saul.
Yes.
Lauren Scarvey. Fatumata So. Ika Tha.
Romario Thomas. Sanina Young. Delaney Young.
Congratulations to the class of 2027. You're now prepared to continue your training as physician assistant students and to be dressed for going into clinical settings. I'd like for you to take this moment to please stand up and salute your families. Now, I'm going to have Mr. Robinson, Ms. Annie Brown, come up here and Associate Dean Llewellyn is going to administer the oath, but I'd like for you, Ms. Brown, come up here. I'll give you my words. guys come down behind Adrian too.
Thank you, Dean Green. The professional oath dates back to antiquity. They are taken by medical professionals to guide their ethics and their behaviors. I ask all members of the class of 2027 to join me and fellow PAs in reciting the physician assistant white coat oath. Please stand. So please join me, loud and clear. As a healer, leader, and scholar of class of 2027 of the City University of New York School of Medicine, I stand before my family, friends, mentors, and colleagues, proud to honor the legacy of the medical profession and humbled to pledge my duty to future patients. As a physician assistant, I will treat my patients with empathy and compassion. I pledge to uphold the dignity of each patient and to practice without prejudice, recognizing the patients come from diverse backgrounds. I aim to foster an environment of mutual respect and to holistically treat patients by trending to their mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. I promise to advocate on behalf of my patients and communities to improve the delivery of quality health care. I will empower my patients to engage in their own care and to better advocate for themselves with the ability to make informed decisions. Through the strength of collaboration, I will work to enhance the coordination of care and seek innovative means to help the underserved. In acknowledgement of my own limitations, I will learn from my mistakes and invite advice and criticism without hubris. I strive for excellence and commit to lifelong learning. My education in my mind to share and should be used to contribute to the prosperity of others. I will hold myself to the highest standards of professionalism in all aspects of my career and community. It is with great privilege, gratitude, and honor that I accept this white coat as a symbol of my commitment to a career in medicine and service to others. Congratulations and thank you.
Well, thank you. It was absolutely refreshing to see people go through the process of reciting the oath and words to live by. Moving towards closure, I'd like to give special thanks to the Planning Committee. Is the Planning Committee here? Can they just stand up? Members of the Planning Committee, thank you. I also take this opportunity to thank those who keep us safe day in and day out, our community, City College, peace officers. Can you just stand up and receive our gratitude? You did tremendous things for us last year. We are deeply, deeply appreciative. A few sort of housekeeping notes as we begin the recessional. I'm going to ask that all guests please remain in your seats until the Dean's Platform Party, the faculty, students, and alumni have left. We will go down the middle hall. Parents and families, I know it's tough to keep your hands off of your people. But I'm going to ask you to do that for a few minutes so that we can do a circle back around, and they will come for the official photograph. After the photographer is done, where's my photographer? Right there, my man, the legend. He will take an official picture. If you can try not to take your official picture in front of him, we'd appreciate that. And then you certainly can take all the pictures that you want, but we want to get the official one for the school. And that picture will be done with also our distinguished alumni and our distinguished keynote speaker. Got it? Thank you. As we conclude this wonderful event, we continue with our land acknowledgement. And that we remind you that the very land, the ground that we are on today was a traditional territory of Lenape people. It is in that spirit that we affirm the aspiration of the great Lenape Chief Tamanan that there be harmony between the indigenous people of this land and the descendants of the immigrants to this land, as long as the rivers and creeks flow and the sun, moon, and stars shine. These are words to remember and to live by while we are on this campus. Good people, the physician assistant white coat ceremony has come to an end. Thank you, and we're going to begin our recession. Owen?
you.